concerning youth and elections. So let me give this moment for us to observe a silent prayer for a moment. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So before we start, I will call on Ma'am Madet Guardiola for the opening remarks. She is the president of MedNet. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning. Maayong buntag sa tanan. Let me share with you why we are doing this today, this e-learning forum. So as we have seen from the introductory video, MedNet, or the Mediators Network for Sustainable Peace, is always on the lookout for areas where people diverge so that we can discover new paths towards convergence and action. So as we provide services on direct mediation as well as training of mediators on in resolving conflicts around issues of like land tenure, natural resource conflicts, community conflicts, BRIDO, we would like to help them develop the lens of such conflict resolution and peace building. And let's focus now on the issues of today, which are very urgent, and that's the starting point of the e-learning forum. MedNet seeks to contribute in the resolution of these issues by facilitating conversations where we can build common ground and take collaborative action. Let's put our sight on 2050. That's a very important year. So one of the most pressing issues we face now is climate change. And many climate emergency activists say that the aim for 2050 is the reduction of carbon dioxide emissions. If we reduce CO2 by at least 1.5%, that would have significant impact on our environment. And we would shift from an impending major catastrophic event, which we are already witnessing now, and towards maybe helping to regenerate the environment. So we all know that climate change is the most pressing issue right now. Again, let's look at 2050. In the previous forum, the first one that we had with Ateneo School of Government, they mentioned that by 2050, majority of our voting population you what kind of choices the youth will be making if there were elections at that time. Issues that are right now, which the youth will have to make decisions on in the future, and even in the space that we have 2022 elections. That's why MedNet is holding the second in a series of conversations on the engagement of the youth in the upcoming elections. So the first two sessions, we hope, provides context on what institutions are already doing, like our partner ASOG. They shared with us now their initiatives. That was during the first forum. And today, we would like to know through this e-learning forum, this is our objective, how the youth are currently engaging in what are the challenges and successes. For the future, we would like to engage the youth in conversations, ongoing conversations on issues where there is polarization among them, and so that we can address the need to understand, gather information that can help them make um, wise choices and actions during the 2022 elections, whether they're voting or whether they themselves are running for office. So I'd like to welcome all of you. Sorry for the gap earlier. Welcome to this morning's e-learning forum. And yes, Kiefer, you can now provide background on the previous forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma'am Madet. So as I said, I'm just going to give you a brief background of the previous activity. So if you don't know, this is a sequel activity to one we previously held on the same topic. In the previous activity held back in March 17, we had the opportunity to talk to Dr. Ronald Mendoza, Dean of the Ateneo School of Government, who talked about Philippine politics, governance, democracy, and the role of the youth. We also had representatives from youth organizations such as Ms. Sohalia Macadato from Unifil Women and Commissioner Nastunding from the Bangsamoro Youth Commission. And they spoke about their organization's vision, what they think the role of the youth is, and what they think is important to get this demographic to participate. And of course, the work that their organizations are doing to meet their goals and their expectations. The previous activity highlighted the increasing incidence of political dynasties, which traditionally lead to deeper poverty. We also noted that we are in a pandemic, and the recovery from the pandemic will by no means be inclusive. And this means that it's going to widen the inequalities. And as long as we have these inequalities, so will the threat of populism persist. We also took some good things from the previous activity. We noted that there are reforms in the SK law that aim to decrease lessen political dynasties. We also took note of social media as an avenue for education on good governance, through a good governance campaign and political education campaigns, and the need to challenge the disillusionment that the youth are experiencing. So one of the things that were shared during that previous activity was the fact that we are expecting, just based on figures from the Commission of Elections, 7 to 10 million more new registrants. And this is one of the key reasons why MedNet is holding this series of activities on engaging the youth, right? So with this in mind, we've invited Mr. Leon Flores III, former National Youth Commission Chairman, who will be sharing some of his insights on how we can build a more inclusive democracy. And we've also invited Vice Mayor Maureen Villamor from Tulunan, North Cotabato, to talk about her experiences as a youth official and her success stories, and also share her insight on how she thinks we can encourage the youth to participate in politics. That's all. Hope you enjoy this forum.
Okay, thank you, Kiefer, for that. Hello, you copy me?
Yes, Fahad.
Okay, thank you, Sir Kiefer, for that brief introduction on the previous activity forum. And now we will hear, and he will discuss about the what do you call this, towards an inclusive democracy by the National Youth Commission Chairman Ms. Leon Flores III. Yes, sir.
Hello, isang magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Maayong buntag sa atong tanan. Klaro ba? Yes?
Opo,
Okay.
opo. Mayong
Okay.
buntag.
Mayong buntag sa...
Maayong buntag. May live stream ba
Buntag.
tayo? Naka-live stream naman tayo, or is-stream ba to?
yes.
Okay. So, magsasalita ako ngayon. Medyo mix siguro Tagalog and English. Okay. So, may buntag sa atong tanan. I'm here to talk about inclusive democracy, since na-cover na ni Dean Ron yung maraming, para pala itong series of lecture ng ano, no? So, from the inclusive democracy, meron din kong slides doon kasi usually we have a canned presentation lang no, on inclusive democracy and youth political participation. I will just zoom in on the youth participation part and then I'll just skip some of the dynasty part kasi that's also part of our presentations din, ano? So, let me try to share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes,
po.
you can.
Okay. So, ay, sorry. Okay. So, we're here to talk about having inclusive democracy and zooming in on paano nga ba yung kabataan mas mapapaigting yung kanilang partisipasyon. It is somewhat though a misnomer na yung kabataan ay hindi masyado nakikilahok. Meron talaga mga kabataan na hindi nakikilahok pero meron din namang kabataan declining yung participation ng SK pero nung nag-reform medyo umaangat, tumataas ulit, ano. So that's an indication na medyo dumadami naman yung kabataan medyo nakikialam. Klaruhin ko lang muna, no, yung generations na pag-usapan natin, mamaya i-breakdown natin ito, but siguro gusto ko lang malaman, if you don't mind me, no, may asking, sino dito ba yung, and by raising your hand siguro or a wave, sino dito ang medyo Gen Z, yung age nyo ay hanggang mga let's say 27, 29, 27, age hanggang 27, 28 to hanggang mga age 40 or 39. Raise your hands. Kayo yung millennials or Gen X, okay? Sino dito Gen X, sorry, Gen Y, my bad,
Gen
sorry.
Y.
Sino dito so ang Gen Z, kayo yung tinatawag na, ano tawag sa inyo? Zoomers. Kasi Zoom ng Zoom call ng Zoom call. Okay? That's why Gen Z daw. Kaya yung nag-pandemic, ang tawag na sa inyo ngayon ay Gen Zoomers. Kasi sanay na sa Zoom ng meeting, Zoom ng assignment, online learning. So Gen Z, yung pinakamabata, 27 and below, 28 to 37, although mas makakorek ko sorry, I haven't memorized the age. Basta hanggang around 39 or 40, Gen Y. Ito yung millennials. So kung meron nagsasabi na ang youth ay millennials, nako, marami na pong millennials, sorry to say, ay hindi na youth based on our law. Kasi ang batas natin sa Pilipinas, hanggang 30 years old ang definition ng youth. 15 to 30 years old based on Republic Act 8044 or Youth in Nation Building Act. Sino naman dito ang Gen X? 41 years old and above. Hanggang mga 54, 56. Gen X. Kayo yung, actually Gen X ako tayo yung nakaabot pa sa time na wala pang internet, wala pang ebidensya sa ating pagiging pasaway. Ngayon, mag-video ka na kung pasaway ka So Gen X, naabutan yung time na hindi pa, wala pang internet, ano? And then naabutan din nila yung time na bago pa yung internet, yung sobrang bagal pa ng internet, halfway through the picture, nagpipixelate pa siya, no? So sino naman dito yung boomer? Boomer ay 56 above. 56 years old above. Okay. Kayo naman yung generation na muntik na makaabot sa World War I. Hindi naman. Muntik na. Bata kayo. O yung iba.
911.
Yung iba sa inyo. World War II. 1945 to thereabouts. Hindi rin. Okay.
Hindi. Kung above 56, yes.
Kung above 56, yes. Merong ibang kabatch niyo, the elder ones, nakaabot na noong World War II. Parang ang tagal na, no? Pero kayo yung talagang naabutan din yung maraming pagbabago din sa ating mundo, ano? So, natin, ano? So, I need to talk about inclusive democracy sa kabataan. Ito muna, we are, while I do not speak for Project Participate and for Ateneo School of Government, the opinions that I have do not reflect the opinions of the institutions we are partnering with, but I am a professor of praxis for Ateneo School of Government. So I do some of the research for youth development, as well as I am the training director for many of the capacity building. Gusto namin mag-build ng pipeline ng mga magagaling, matitino, mahusay na kabataan para sila yung papalit sa mga boomers, Gen X, di ba? So we feel na maraming magagaling sa kabataan. We just have